Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Tiff and Tony Show.
Good morning and welcome to this week's Tiff and Tony Show. Tiffany, good morning. You are not indoors. Where are you?
I'm not. I am down by the river in Haley, Idaho. I've been in Idaho since Friday afternoon and we're just enjoying nature. I literally get to work down by the river and here's my dog. He's just trying to hang out. He's very antsy. He wants me to take him on a little hike. So yeah, we're having fun, adventuring. Yes.
That is
How are
awesome.
you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm still stuck in my home office and still doing the social distancing. So yeah, not having nearly as much fun as you are. So hey, yes, it is okay. So I just want to follow up and talk more about change. You're going through a whole change, a whole transition. You're staying at different places. So tell me a little bit more about what you're doing, because I heard this morning that you're now no longer on plan B. You're now down to plan C or D, right? You're down there.
I feel like it's an addendum of plan B.
Okay.
This is addendum number 2 of plan B. So plan B was, okay, well, I've got a couch surf. So either way, I don't really have a home right now. So, and I can work digitally. So why don't I go on a road trip with my dog, visit some friends, go see some bucket list places, experience nature, meet new people, all the things, spend time with my dog, who's now luckily in the water, occupying himself. And yes, so addendum number 1 of plan B was I actually had a cabin, an Airbnb reserved for this weekend through this morning in Cascade, Idaho. Mm-hmm. My dog and I got there. It was beautiful, not quite as I had hoped or pictured. And I had met a friend in Bend, and he and his dogs were coming down to South Idaho. So I was like, you know what, let's cancel the Airbnb. I would like some human connection instead of like solitude in the middle of nowhere. So we canceled the Airbnb and came here.
Well, it sounds like you are having a huge adventure. And I love what you're up to. And I love that you're stepping out and doing this stuff. This is really cool, but it's challenging, right? Change, transition, as we've talked about, can be challenging. And we've got a choice of, we can take it as a challenge and move through it, or we can look at it as a hurdle and something can get in our way. They're two very different approaches there. And one of the things that helps us accept it as a challenge, I think, is how we look at it. If we can start thinking about old habits, old way of doing things, and what happens is we revert back to our old ways because we don't trust ourselves.
Yes.
You're in a situation where you are trusting yourself. You are trusting the change and the transformation and the challenge. And so you're rolling with it, changing plans slightly as they go, moving along, and it's turning out great. Everything is fine. So, and this whole idea actually came from, I'm walking my dog, and there was a guy practicing a golf swing, and he was talking about his game of golf. And I knew he was playing. So I said, how did the game of golf go? And he said, I didn't trust myself. I froze. I went back to my old way of doing things. And I didn't hit the ball well. And I've been watching him on our field practice for the last, 2 months, 3 months, practicing his short game. So he said this and I walked off, and I was like, that's what we do in life, right? We learn new skills. We learn things like, right, tiny habits. I've talked about this a number of times now. We learn a thing like a tiny habit, but then when it comes down to it, we don't trust ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so we go back to our old habit and we wonder why it didn't work. But so I love that this is a great example of, hey, trust yourself, go with it, and we'll see where it all turns up.
Yes. So I will preface that by also saying this isn't something that is necessarily an easy thing to do, just like right off the bat, like, oh, flip a switch, I'm gonna trust myself now. Sometimes our bodies and brains can do that. And when we're in survival mode, there's an emergency situation, we're forced to make a decision. And I would say in where I'm at now in life and making addendums to my plan B is that I've come to a place within myself that I'm able to be confident and not only trust myself, but kind of trust the journey, knowing like, yeah, it's me making these decisions, and also there's things happening out of my control. And how can I make the best of this? How can I have fun and adventure and enjoy this trip that I am so grateful to be able to be having? So yeah, my addendum 2 to plan B has been that I found out this morning my friends I was going to stay with and visit in Salt Lake City, Utah, actually were exposed to COVID, and so they're quarantining at home for 2 weeks. So yes, we now are changing plans. I found that out like right before we connected this morning, Tony. And so yeah, I'm going to, after this, find a camping gear shop. We are going to buy a tent, a sleeping pad. I need some more warm gear. And we're gonna go be out in nature. I brought my guitar, I have my dog. It'll be a happy place. I'll be able to do some cool PureGame videos from our campsite, still connecting with everybody. And this is just lovely.
That is, again, it's awesome that we can use this as an example. And like you said, transition doesn't mean that you have to step out, jump in your car, and go on a wild, crazy camping trip. That doesn't mean that, right? No. But transformation and change could be something small in your life, but you get to that point where you trust yourself, you trust the skills that you've learned, and you lean into them, right? The tiny habits that I'm doing, it's leaning into every day, just that little bit. And over the course of time, it changes, and it's the journey of transformation. So skills to take away from today's Tiff and Tony show, guys, is stick with the transformation, right? Trust yourself and trust the skills that you're learning and lean into them, even though it feels like hard work, even though it feels like it's very new and awkward and clunky, like we've talked about. Keep going. It's the perseverance in these situations that really count. So step by step, keep going. We've talked about this for weeks. Get a mentor, someone to help you out. Because when you have that person with you, when you have that person that you can trust as well, they can kind of guide you along the way and keep you checked in on your ultimate goal. So Tiffany, this is just a nice little check-in. Great stuff. Anything else for the kids who are watching?
Yes, to build on your point about mentoring, I was going to mention, or I am mentioning, so sometimes trusting yourself isn't always just making the decision by yourself. Sometimes trusting yourself is trusting that you have the confidence and humility to ask for help. I have talked to so many locals and passersby in these towns that I'm visiting, the people I'm meeting, and they have been giving me so many good travel tips, places to stay, places to eat, where on my route maybe I could stop, and just helping me. I've had 2 friends help me. I've had 2 friends that I've met on the road that I'm able to stay with instead of camping and sleeping in the backseat of my car with my dog. And so it's things like that that inspire me and encourage me to keep reaching out for help. And not only can trusting yourself be big things, a lot of these decisions on my trip that I've been having to make are little things. Actually, it's something little happened that changed my course even 1 degree, and 200 miles later I'm somewhere way different than I thought I would be. And that's such a metaphor. I've used that before on here. So yeah, even a half a degree of a change of direction can bring on some exciting things and open you up to opportunities that maybe you didn't have before. And then it helps you grow and build on skills you already have and also learn new skills. I am learning so much on this trip and it's incredible. I've talked about it in my Friday challenge about some of the things I'm learning along this trip, and I hope some of you have gotten a chance to watch it and become inspired and encouraged.
You enjoy your trip, enjoy that river, enjoy your hike, enjoy your dog, and enjoy the weather because it looks stunning up there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll
Enjoy
see
yourself
you,
also.
in 2 weeks. Thank you.
2 weeks. Thank you so much for joining Tony and me for another conversation about change and transition and what it looks like to trust yourself and trust yourself enough to reach out to people for help. We hope you feel encouraged, and remember, as always, you are loved and cared for. You matter. Until next time, bye.